Hi and welcome to my playthrough of Not Alone. This cool game takes place on the planet of Artemia, you can see it here, and a lot of humans has crash landed on the planet and are trying to escape. But on Artemia there's this creature, which is some kind of a symbiotic being that are living on the planet or being a part of the planet, and it's trying to assimilate all the humans before they can send a distress call and get picked up by some rescue mission. Okay, so the game is for 2 to 7 players, and one of the players has to play the creature and the rest are the humans on the planet. So it's an asymmetric game where you have one against the rest, and you have different options if you're humans and if you're the creature. The goal of the game is for the creature to have his or hers or its marker reaching all the way here to the star, which indicates that all the humans has been assimilated with the planet and really don't want to leave anyways. Or for the humans is to get this, and it's a longer road all the way down to the star, which means that when they reach here, the rescue mission is a success and they can leave the planet. So we are fighting to get to the star first. The game takes place in a series of turns, and in each turn there are 4 phases. Let me go through the phases. The first phase, and it's actually pretty simple, because what the humans are doing every round is that they will go and explore the planet. They have to explore the planet almost always, and you have these 10 locations on the planet that you can visit. But in the beginning you only have, you can see here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each card represents a place you can go and explore. So the humans in phase 1, the exploration, chooses one of the cards and say, I will explore this one, and they don't show it, it's secret. And the other one, he could take this one like this. So they choose where to explore on this planet. The creature, the second phase is hunting. So the creature will take its creature marker and guess which one of these 5s the humans will explore. And he could take this one, for instance, number 4. Now the third phase is reckoning, and here you show which places you have chosen to explore. And the first thing you noticed is that one of them took 5 and one of them took 4. So this place, number 5, which he took, was not with an alien, so no problem. So what they do is they can choose to either take, this is their discard pile now, it's in the discard pile now. They can choose, if they are in a location with no alien, they can choose to say, okay, I'll pick one up to my hand, which is good because you need as many cards there as possible. Or you can use the special power of the location. And in this example with number 5, what you can do is you can take one card from the place card from the reserve of cards, which is these cards up here. And that's the location 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And he will pick number 8 because that's a really cool, and just put it in his hand. But for this guy, didn't go so well because he or she was caught by the creature. So what happens if you're caught by the creature is that the first thing is that you lose 1 willpower point because you're just weakened by the creature, and that's bad, so you have 1 less. And furthermore, and that's even worse, the assimilation process will begin and you will be closer to assimilation here. So that's bad. Not good, getting caught by the creature. You can't pick up a card, and you can't use the special power of the place that you were exploring because you were just caught by the alien. And now for the last phase, phase 4, end of turn. And what happens at the end of turn is that the creature retrieves this one, and this one advances 1. So you have, I think, 14 turns, and then you will be here because it will just continue moving forward. And now the next round, you just take your cards, and he's a lucky guy, so he can just pick one of these 5. So he still has a lot of options. He could take this one, for instance. You'll just put it down. But as you can see, as the rounds progress, you will have more and more discarded cards down here, and in the end you have nothing to choose from. So how do you get your hands back, the discarded cards back in your hand? Well, for instance, you could, if you visit the jungle, you can take the jungle card. If you play that, you can take it back in your hand, and you can take one of the other cards down here. If you visit the lair, you can take all your cards back to your hand. The problem is that if the creature is in the lair, instead of losing 1 will point, you lose 2, or 1 more actually. So you can use some of the cards to pull back here, pull back cards to your hand. Furthermore, you can give up. Give up is that if you, for instance, have a lot of cards down there, you can just say, well, I give up, so I'll just advance this 1, and then I can pick up all these cards from my discard pile to my hand, and if I was down to, for instance, 1 will point, I can take them all back and be kind of reset here. All my cards in hand and these 3 here. I could also choose, before playing a card, I could choose to say, I will just use one of my will points, and then I can retrieve 2 cards from down here to my hand. Or I could sacrifice 2 will points and then take 4 cards to my hand instead. So that's an option you have as well. But there's more, because you can have survival cards. Each player has 1 survival card. I could just take 1 for each, and they just have these. You can get more. For instance, in the shelter down here, if you're at the shelter, you can draw 2 survival cards and choose 1 and discard the other. So you can get them back. But here's one, for instance. It's indicated which phase you can play it, and this is the first phase. That's before you play your cards. You can say regain 1 will. So I can pull 1 will back, and then I've discarded that and use that. Or for instance, this one, that's a great one. That's in phase 3. That's when the creature has placed it. For instance, if I had taken the rover, I took the rover, it's here. I can play this and say, no, Mr. Creature, you are on the wrong track. You're not there. You are in an adjacent place, and that adjacent would be one of these 2, never diagonal. So I just switch him over there, or even better down here, because no one has a 10, so no problem. I can use that to swap him around. But the player playing the creature has options too, because they have these, I think they're called hunting cards, I can't remember, but they have these 3 in their hands. And look, there are more tokens. There's the creature token, and we have the Artemia token, and the target token. So the creature can bring them into play if they have a card. For instance, here, if you have a card with the target token, or a card with an Artemia token, you can play them. Let's take Artemia, for instance. So you can play 1 card every phase, every round, and this one would be, say, put down Artemia in 1 location. No survival cards may be played or drawn from the remainder of the turn. So if I play this one, the players can't play their survival cards, and I can place this on one of the locations. And I come back to later what that means. If I'm in another round, I could play this one. Each 100, the players on the targeted place discard 1 survival card, and the power of the place is inefficient, so I could place it here. So if someone was there, they had to discard a survival card, and they couldn't use the special power of the river. Finally, sometimes you can place these tokens on 2, not the creature, but these. Before the hunted play, target 2 adjacent spaces, neither may be played this turn. That's a strong card, right? Because I can put this down here and say you can't play 3 or 4, and if they are have a lot of cards down here, then I can corner them in the other places, right? The way you evaluate the reckoning phase is that you, first of all, you check out all the players that are in locations that the creature does not occupy in any ways with any of these tokens, and just either pick up the card as you to your hand, or use the special power of the card place. Secondly, you take this hunting card and see what the effect is, and the effect I just showed you in phase 1, of course it's already been used, but it could be affecting people on the card too. If it's not stated on the card of the target token that the players can't use the power of the place, they can use it just as they would like to. Okay, and then there's the Artemia token. If anyone is on the location, a place where the Artemia token is, then they have to discard one of the cards from their hand. And as you saw earlier, if they are on the target with the creature, or the place with the creature, they have to throw out a will point, and this one will advance one more. So this is a bad one to end in. This is not so good, and sometimes this is kind of okay. The creature always draw cards, so it will have 3 cards in the hand all the time, or after the round. And it's important to remember that every round this one goes closer and closer and closer. And when it is entering spaces that has an A, the Artemia token will be placed out here. So in the end game here, the creature can every round play both the creature token and the Artemia token. And the cool thing is that if you look on the other side here, you can choose either side. Then you can, maybe I can just show you that here you will just every other round the Artemia token will come in instead of just having them all in the end. And that's just, you know, different way of playing the game. That's pretty cool. And another thing you can see is that you start the game further back depending on how many players there are in the game. So everyone starts a little further back if it's a 7-player game, and if it's just a 2, you start here. Finally, I'll just talk a little bit about the different cards to show you how they work. This one is the lair, and if you succeed in exploring the lair, you can take up all the cards from the table to your hand, or you can copy the power of whichever place the alien locates. So this is a great card. For instance, if the alien, the creature, will try to prevent you from using the rover, you can instead pick the lair, and then you can use the rover by proxy, kind of thing. But the dangerous thing with this one is that if you get caught here, if the alien is here and you get caught, then you lose 2 will points instead of just 1, or 1 more actually. The jungle, you can take the jungle back to your hand when you've played it, and another card from your discard pile. The river, you put down 2 cards, and then you just pick the one that that you like after the creature has revealed. For instance, if they put it down here, then you can, in the next round, you can see, okay, I don't want to go with number 2, I'll just go with number 5. Go with the number 2. Okay, and the beach, it's a little special one, because what you do is that you say, if you are on the beach, you can move this counter onto the beach, nothing happens. But if the counter is here, then you can remove the counter from the beach and then advance this 1 more. So you can get your progression toward the goal getting faster if you use the beach. And number 5, the rover, was picking up these cards, and they're pretty good. Like for instance, the swamp, it's like the jungle where you pick up the card and another card, but here you just pick it up and pick 2 more up, so that's great. The shelter, you can take 2 survival cards and keep 1 of them. The wreck, that's a good one. That's where you can, if you are at the wreck, you can communicate with the outside world and move your rescue counter 1 more, but it can only be used once per turn. The source, you can choose another 100 a human player of your choice. It could be you, and then this player will regain 1 will point, or you could draw a survival card for yourself. And finally, number 10, the artifact. If you are on this place, then you can next turn you can play 2 cards, and then they can resolve. You can resolve both of them. So that's an overview of the game. I hope you you understand the rules, and now I will make a playthrough of the game.